You know, if you have ever listened to the Martini Mortgage Podcast before, you know that I believe that it is truly easier to make $1 million in real estate than at your job. If you own a home today, you know what I am talking about. Oh, by the way, if you own a home today and have a mortgage, it is time for you to reach out to a local and trusted mortgage strategist for a home loan review. Right now is an unprecedented time to potentially reduce your monthly housing costs or reduce the term of your mortgage, or maybe even unleash some of the equity and get rid of some of the debt. Now, if you are a renter today, know this: there is a time to rent. However, that time is not now. There's a ton of chatter right now about the economy, jobs, and the housing market. I understand why. We are knee-deep into a pandemic. Let me paraphrase a thought from Warren Buffett. In short, he shared to be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. My name is Kevin Martini, and I'm the Chief Mortgage Strategist at the Martini Mortgage Group with Benchmark Mortgage. And I'm calling this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, Jobs and the Housing Market.
This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
We all need to have a roof over our head. Some will rent that roof and others will own that roof. I'm honored that every day myself and my fellow mortgage strategist, Logan Martini, are able to help families put the cost of that roof to work for them and not just create wealth, but create generational wealth. Now, some families right now are living in a house that will not meet their needs in the future. It might not be big enough since their family is growing. It might not be the right school district for the kids. The commute may be too long, or worse, the house they live in today simply they have outgrown. I believe there may never be a better time in history to upgrade. Now, upgrading does not necessarily mean that one will be paying more. Recently, I helped a family secure a financing for a bigger, more expensive home than they had, but check this out. Their payment every month was actually the same that they were paying before for a bigger, more expensive house. How can that happen, you ask? It happened courtesy of these epic mortgage rates today that allow one to amplify their buying power. Now, I know what you are saying. Kevin Martini, I want to stop renting, but I'm concerned about the headlines I see about the housing market. Or you're maybe saying, Kevin Martini, I hear you. We have outgrown our current house already, but I'm afraid about the housing market, and there is a pandemic, and no one's going to buy my house. Let me go back and paraphrase another thought from the Oracle of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett himself. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Today, you are going to get a double bonus, in my opinion. You're going to be paying a reduced interest rate on your mortgage courtesy of these historic home loan rates. And I believe that real estate today is at a ground floor opportunity with potentially a ton of upside potential. Let me talk about what's top of mind on a lot of families' minds: jobs. Some very good people were impacted by this pandemic. And here is a hashtag Kevin Martini Live talking point. Unemployment went up in March and April of 2020. However, in May and June of 2020, the unemployment rate went down. and will continue to drop, in my opinion. I get it. Yes, I get it. And I feel for the 11.1% of the people that are unemployed right now. Some businesses have not come back online yet, and that has impacted these people. But when you go beyond the headlines and you look at the data, here's what you're going to find. Basically, 60% of those 11.1% that are unemployed are not permanently unemployed. In other words, their jobs are coming back. That means when we get back to the new normal, the unemployment rate will be right at pre-pandemic levels, maybe even less. I believe in science, and I'm betting on science because I believe it is not an issue of if there is a vaccine. It is an issue of when there is a vaccine. At the time of this recording, basically 9 out of 10 people are in the workforce and they are employed. And it is my opinion, more will be employed every day. If the concern about employment is your concern, I would check that off your list. Now, perhaps you've heard some families have qualified for a mortgage forbearance during the pandemic. So what is a mortgage forbearance? Well, in short, it allows you to pause your mortgage payment. Just another benefit of owning a home. Now, I know what you are thinking. These people will end up foreclosing, and that's exactly what happened with the Great Recession in 2008. Here's what I'm going to say to you. Calm down, cowboy. This pandemic of 2020 is nothing like the mortgage renaissance of 2008. It is like comparing the speed and the performance of a Ferrari to a Schwinn bicycle. Simply put, they are nothing alike. Over 3 out of 4 people that are in forbearance have at least 20% equity in their home. This is materially different than the mortgage renaissance. 9 out of 10 people have at least 10% equity in the home. I share this because it's important to highlight if those people that are in forbearance run into trouble, it is possible that they could foreclose. However, it's not probable because they would not want to leave that equity on the table. Now, you may want to have a house right now and you live in it, you like it, but it does not meet your needs, or you want to upgrade or downsize. Oh, by the way, downsizing does not mean downgrading. Here is what is top of mind. You are concerned because no one is going to buy that home in a pandemic. Here's a fact. 372,000 homes sold last month in the U.S. Why so many? Here's my thought. This trend of working at home is not going away, and it may even be more beneficial to employers over the long run. Many families I serve and prepping for this, some of the families I work with have decided to leave the city and head for more of a rural setting. But at the end of the day, real estate is not just a roof for you and your family. It is an investment, which is not just the house. It is an investment that is your home. Home ownership is the foundation of the American dream, and I believe it will always be, perhaps more, now and in the future than it's been in the past. Is real estate a good investment today? I truly believe it is the best investment, and a recent Gallup poll agrees. real estate outranked stocks, savings accounts, and gold as the best long-term investment. Smart. Because you see, think about this. Real estate is one of the only investments that you can also live in. I'm not alone in believing that the stability of the housing market will remain for the short and the long term. Home prices are expected to continue to appreciate based on the predictions from the Home Price Expectation Survey, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the National Association of Realtors, and the Mortgage Bankers Association. Let me close with this. Do I know that you should stop renting if you rent and buy a home? No, I don't know. Do I know that you should sell your house if you own a house and buy a new one? No, I don't know. But what I do know is that you should take time to explore your options and always keep in mind that it should be loan first and then go find your home. It all starts with education. My family has told me when I was a child that there's no substitution for education, and I believe there is never a substitution for education, and that is why myself and co-author Logan Martini create the Martini Buyer Guide called Things to Consider When Buying a Home. You will find that the Martini Buyer Guide simply and effectively communicates the current market opportunity and shares things that you need to know. Now, it's available for free by going to www.martinibuyerguide.com. Yes, when I say it is free, you just go to www.martinibuyerguide.com and you can press the download button with no need to put any information in. Now, do not be fooled. It is free, but it is packed with priceless information. My name is Kevin Martini, and I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Thank you in advance for leaving a review and sharing this episode with someone you care about that may benefit from it. If you have questions or you want to talk more, I am Just give me a jingle at 919-238-4934. Stay safe, be healthy, and wishing you peace and blessing.
The Martini Mortgage Group makes real estate dreams a reality with trusted advice in a stress-free environment with great rates and on-time closings while providing a world-class experience. If you or someone you know has questions about the current mortgage rates or the current mortgage programs, please reach out to the Martini Mortgage Group at 919-238-4934. The information contained in this podcast presentation is for general product information purposes only. Arklatex Financial Services, LLC, NMLS number 2143, doing business as Benchmark Mortgage, makes no representations or warranties of any kind expressed or implied about the completeness, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the information, products, or services. All loans subject to borrower qualifying. Other restrictions may apply. Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS number 143962. Branch located at 5650 Six Forks Road, Suite 101, Raleigh, North Carolina 27609. Contact the branch by calling 919-238-4934. Equal housing opportunity.